who's the best boss in Super Mario Bros. 2? Super Mario Bros. 2 has a lot of wacky bosses, definitely not the type you see in a typical Mario game, but they each have such unique designs and playstyles. But which one of them is the best? I'll be ranking these bosses based on 3 aspects: difficulty, design, and fun. We'll rank each of these bosses and award points based on their placement in each aspect, Mario Party style. Without further ado, let's go. To be a boss, you gotta be tough, the penultimate obstacle to challenge the player. And unfortunately for her, we gotta start somewhere, and being the first stage's boss isn't doing her any favors. Pink Birdo only shoots one singular egg at a time, which is so predictable, and easy to pick up to toss back at her. We shouldn't blame her though, someone's gotta be the first stage boss. Next up, we have the Mask Gate. I think the whole gimmick of this boss was the surprise you felt when he came alive for the first time in 7-2, after being the end goal for the rest of the game. And sure, he's pretty fast and unpredictable until you learn one simple trick. Behold, crouching. Yeah, crouching just demolishes the Mask Gate. He even stops after you hit him, giving you time to squat back down on the floor. But I guess he couldn't be too unfair. He is right before Wart. Can't make 7-2 too unfair, you know? Next up is Triclide. Oh Triclide, you were done so dirty. The reason he's so easy is he only ever shoots the same exact spot. And he does this in both of his appearances. At least in World 3 he shoots where the mushroom blocks are, so maybe you'll get hit trying to pick one up. In World 6 he's an absolute joke though. Stand at the edge of the pit and throw the mushroom blocks after he breathes fire, and that's the entire fight. Yay. Next up we have Pink followed by Green Mouser. Don't get me wrong, Mouser's a cool rat, but his boss stage is so large, there's simply too much space to make his bombs any real threat. It doesn't help that Mario and the gang don't even have to spend precious time picking up the bombs. They can just wait and catch him midair and toss it right back at him. Even if you don't predict where he's gonna go, throw enough bombs and you'll defeat him eventually. But he does stack his bombs and throw them decently fast enough, so it's easier to slip up and be careless. Green Mouser is not any better though. He can take 2 more hits than his pink self and has an additional spark in his lair, which is why he's higher. But he doesn't do anything extra. Sometimes he even kills his own spark. So not only is he a bad boss, he's a bad boss. Next up is Fry Guy. He's just a really manageable boss. The trick with him is just to stay above him and drop the mushroom blocks onto him whenever he comes around. But even without doing that, I'm sure most of us can beat him first try. His moves are too predictable, and the only surprise he has is bursting his children out after 3 hits. But you can still defeat them pretty easily, as they're really slow and any form of higher ground kinda puts them out of commission. Next is Red Birdo. I know, Red Birdo over 3 final bosses? Crazy, right? But Red Birdo has an unpredictability to her. Every now and then she might shoot a fireball instead of an egg, and she shoots 2 to 3 shots unlike Pink Birdo. These later shots can really mess you up, either by denying the shot you're throwing at her or forgetting which shot she's on, or if she'll even shoot a 3rd shot. Moreover, Red Birdos like to be in enclosed rooms, where their eggs can bounce off the wall for a second chance to hit you. She's unpredictable, she's sorta deadly, she's Red Birdo. In 3rd place we have Claw Grip. The reason he's so deadly is the speed of his rock throws. There's a good chance you won't react fast enough and get hit. Sometimes, his rocks will even tumble around so much that they push you into the pit. There's no other way to defeat him without using his own rocks against him too. And you'll have to use the one he throws at you. Going to his rock stash doesn't allow you to pick him up. And you have to be close enough on the lower platform before he starts throwing them. At least when his rocks collide into each other, they can still count as a hit if they collide with him, which is a feat Birdo doesn't share. Speaking of which, in 2nd place we have Grey or Green Birdo. These Birdos only shoot fire, and still 2 to 3 shots, and quite frequently too, meaning you barely have enough time to pick up a mushroom block, which is how they're defeated. Now there's not really a difference in color to these two, but I guess I'll point out which is the worst one. The Grey Birdo in 5-1 is definitely the hardest, because you only have a singular mushroom block to take her down, meaning you have to throw it hard and far, or it'll land near her where she'll guard it. Her other appearance is a little better, but her 2 green ones are quite manageable in my opinion. Simply drop mushroom blocks on the high ground in 6-2 and build this tower thing in 6-1. Every second is crucial in these Birdo fights, which is why they're higher than every other boss so far. There's just one more boss that takes the cake. Of course number 1 goes to Wart. If you haven't watched my video analyzing 7-2, I talk about how outrageous and difficult his fight is. You're led to Wart, whose only attack is to spit 5 bubbles at you. It doesn't seem too bad, right? Wrong. The bubble formation changes every time because he's actually aiming for you, unlike someone else. So there isn't really a safe spot. You're bound to get hit. The bubbles are even trickier to dodge too because of how they move. They don't drop vertically down, they're still moving left as they fall, making it difficult to judge their exact position, and they even have the power to destroy vegetables. Oh yeah, the Dream Machine pumps out vegetables. To defeat Wart, you'll need to throw 6 of them into his mouth. Yes, 6! It's already bad enough that it took so long to get here. Now you gotta outlast this guy? And he only opens his mouth for a short period of time. And remember, bubbles trump vegetables. Getting closer for a better shot means a higher risk of getting hit too. And remember, if you die in game over at this or any other point before this, it's back to 7-1. And even worse, if you don't have any continues left, it's back to 1-1. How did people play this game back then? Need I say more? And that wraps up the difficulty section. Now let's move on to design. First off is Birdo. All 4 colors. Yeah, I know she's iconic, and the only one that managed to stick around the Mario series. But she just looks weird in this game, alright? And she's the smallest anyway, which means they couldn't give her more detail. Second from the bottom is Claw Grip. He's just a pixelated crab. That's it. What else is there to say? Next we have Mouser. He's a rat with shades. But rats with shades are cooler than pixelated crabs. And besides, rats are pretty funny anyway. Next is Fry Guy. He's got a similar vibe, but instead of shades is this weird robber mask. Okay, that's not the point. The point is he's sentient fire that bursts into smaller sentient fire. What's not to like? Third place is Wart. Fat King Frog. Second place goes to Mask Gate. The first time you saw this guy all the way back in 1-1, we all knew something was up. We all didn't trust this guy. I got my eye on you. I got my eyes on you. He still looks hella freaky and scary though, which is why he's so high. And our winner? Clyde, let's go! The 3-headed snake thing that looks like it's from Dark Souls wins in design? Who would have guessed? That wraps up round 2. Here are the point distributions and Wart is currently in the lead. Lastly, fun. Judged based on how much fun I had with these bosses. Side note, if I felt more frustrated than fun, that's negative points for them. Take this last aspect with a grain of salt, and as more of a loose ranking. Fun is subjective after all, and the way I'm feeling about these bosses today might change tomorrow. Grey or Green Birdo is in last place. This fight felt daunting, and a little unfair with how frequently she shoots her fire. And you constantly have to chase after mushroom blocks and pick them up in the nick of time? Not really my definition of fun. I wanted to rank Wart really low, but after playing through Wart a couple of times, I saw him as a challenge. A fun challenge. But then I snapped out of it and remembered what he puts you through, just to get to his quote-unquote fun challenge. Pink Birdo is next, and yeah, she's a nothing fight. Other nothing fights, unfortunately, include Mask Gate and Clyde, with how stupidly easy to avoid they are. Mouser is okay, I guess. There's not really much to do, but I'd argue that trying to predict where he'll end up when the bomb is going to explode is still better than all the others before. Red Birdo is actually the most fun Birdo. Her fight feels just fair enough, while still having tricks up her sleeve to surprise you. Next is Fry Guy. In my first encounter with him, he was so fun. He thoroughly surprised me and felt fair, which is all our boss really needs. But the most fun boss is definitely Claw Grip. It's basically just a game of catch. What's not to love? He even throws you fastballs and stuff. And that's the game. That means our winner for best boss of Super Mario Bros. 2 is a 2-way tie between Claw Grip and Wart. Whoa, nobody saw that coming. And to nobody's surprise, Birdo is the worst boss. But I guess we can all cut her some slack for being the first boss, right guys? But anyway guys, that'll do it for this video. Do you agree or disagree? And who's your personal favorite boss? Let me know in the comments. And if you watched till this far, consider subscribing. And I will see you all in the next one.